Hi, YouTube. Erica here from In the Company of Cards, all bundled up because it's kind of chilly here in Southern California. By the way, for those of you who've asked, I'm nowhere near the wildfires, but we, of course, all send our best wishes for a quick resolution to those things because they're devastating. I do have friends in the area who have had to evacuate, so, it's scary. Um, If the rest of the world will pardon me, this will be a purely American politics um, episode. I will get back to the rest of the world, Canada, etc., next time. Thank you to the Canadians who clarified some things for me. I appreciate it. Next time, I will look at other parties besides just the conservatives and the liberals. Um, Thank you for your compliments on my pronunciation of what's that guy's name? Poiliev, uh, the conservative. That was nice. My high school French teacher would appreciate that. Um, and today, I want to look at, as I said, at the American political situation. So the first thing, I think I maybe have five things that I want to look at. The first has to do with the special counsel report uh, that 45 is trying to uh, quash, not have the public see. Uh, Merrick Garland apparently will be the one to decide whether the public will see the report. Word on the street is that he will let the report be seen, but of course, in a very redacted form. I'm saying, of course, because I think that's what he's going to do. I don't love that. I mean, I think we need to see the whole thing, but okay. So let's just see whether this report will be released and with enough information that we will be able to see, um, you know, Trump's involvement in the whole thing. So I'm going to use the letter, and that will stand for the report. Okay. Okay. So this stands for the special counsel's report that Merrick Garland will be deciding about releasing. Okay. So we have the sun, we have the star, we have the letter for the report, we have the garden, and we have the snake. And I'm going to draw cards on the snake, clarifying cards on the snake. So this is about um, the thing being made public, being brought to light, so to speak. Um, Probably a lot of people will read it online. This is the thing itself, the report. This is it being made public because this is the public. Now, those first four cards said, yes, it will be released. But the line ends with our friend, not so much, the snake. So that means that there will be an issue. It could be about redaction, but let me look. I'm going to pull clarifiers, just three clarifiers on this snake. Okay. You know what? Um, Even if it's redacted, I don't think that the snake refers to redaction. I think the snake refers to the fact that whatever these findings are, they will send a message which is not good for 45, and of course has to do with finances. So, it will, and this, remember, this is also the card for emotion. So even if it's redacted, it will harm 45. But the thing about 45, of course, is nothing seems to harm him. Am I right? So I'm just going to say that whatever is publicized whatever part of it is publicized will do 45 no reputational favors. So, I mean, I guess that's the best satisfaction we can hope for. Okay. The second thing I'd like to look at is the fact that 45, remember that he's meant to be sentenced on Friday by Judge Marchand in New York. This is for the hush money case involving Stormy Daniels. And he has been found guilty, and he just needed a sentence. And we already know that Marchand has said the sentence will not include any jail time and probably won't include anything, not even a fine, nothing. So, what's the point of it? I mean, I think that's a very good question. Marchand would probably say the point of it is that, his name goes down in history as a convicted felon, that the felony conviction stands, he's a felon, separate and apart from any punishment that we would think of as punishment. It will be punishment enough. Now, 45 is not satisfied with that. You know, you would think that someone in his position would say, "Oh my God, thank God. You mean no jail? That's great. Not even on the weekends? Oh my God, that's great. No house arrest? Terrific. No fine? Are you kidding? Oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you." But that's not 45's response. 45 says, "Yeah, no, I want you to act like this thing never happened in the first place. I want the conviction vacated. I want the sentence vacated. I want the whole thing vacated like it never happened." So he has gone to his buddies at the Supreme Court and asked them to step in and force Marchand to halt the sentencing and never have it. Now, this would have to happen, obviously, prior to Friday. So this is an emergency request. And so I just would like to look and see what the court will do. What will the court do about 45's request to just sort of disappear this sentencing? Okay. Court. I will use I'll use the tower. Sometimes that stands for government, but this time it's going to stand for that branch of government, which is the judiciary, the Supreme Court. Okay. What will the Supreme Court decide vis-a-vis the Marchand's sentencing of 45, which is meant to happen on Friday? So we're looking for the tower. Here's our tower. This stands for the Supreme Court for this question. Okay, we have the star, we have the tree, we have the tower, we have the bouquet, we have 45. You know what? I mean, I'm going to draw a couple of clarifiers on it, but it looks like with that bouquet card, the court could give 45 what he wants. Of course, it will not be unanimous. There will be a dissenting opinion. Um, yeah. So I drew clarifiers on the court itself. We have the heart, we have the rider, and we have the key. Even though these should be separate branches of government, the court is very interested in 45, who will supposedly, although I'm telling you, I don't think so, be in power for 4 years, to be positively disposed towards them. And so the message will be that they give him what he wants. Here's this reward, which is saying, "Yeah, no, let's not do the sentencing." We have the older woman card, we have the ring, we have the coffin. Now, people will say to me, I'm sure in the comments, well, couldn't this card stand for the women on the court, meaning the not Comey Barrett, but will the liberal women on the court, get what they want, which is, of course, to have the sentencing going forward? I don't think this is that. I don't think this stands for them. This is, I think, the reward 45 will get, the award he will get, which is that the sentencing won't happen. This here is, I just feel like this is yin energy, passive energy. I get the impression of like a dog rolling over for its belly to be scratched, which, I mean, is that not what everybody seems to be doing to 45? Like allowing him to have their way with have his way with them. I think the court will do that as well. Um, Now, this ring, this case has gone on for a long time. It was a long time ago that he was received the conviction, but I think that the nail will be put in the coffin. The court will say, well, you weren't going to sentence him to anything anyway, so yeah, let's just not do it. Let's just pretend the whole thing never happened. That's what I think. And here we have our 45 card, and we have the garden, the house, and the moon. And I feel like this is a decision that they make with an eye towards helping 45's reputation. Here's 45. This is the public. And in this case, the public is the whole world, both the US and everybody else. That for the sake of the honor of the office, this stands for the White House, the honor and reputation of the White House, um, let's just pretend this didn't happen. That's what I think. I think uh, I think the court will give 45 what he wants. So there may not be a sentencing on Friday. Hmm, okay. The next thing I thought I would look at, well, so there's the Carter funeral, of course, that's tomorrow, I think. Yeah, Thursday. And then the next big event is supposed to be this women's march on the 18th. And hard on the heels of that, 45 has called for a rally on the 19th. And of course, the 20th is the inauguration. So I think I'm going to first look at the Women's March. This is a march where, I mean, I don't really quite get the point of it. And let me just say that Black women, as far as I know, will not be participating in this march because we marched at the ballot box, if you know what I mean, 92%. So let's see how that march on the 18th will go. So this is called the Women's March. I've heard it called different things like the People's March, the Women's March. I don't know, whatever they're calling it now. It's supposed to still go on. And so let's see how that's going to go. And I think what I'll do is I'll use the garden for that because it's an outside event. All right. So let's see how that's going to go. We're going to look at these events one at a time. Okay. So looking for the garden, that will stand for the Women's March scheduled for January 18th. Okay. And the two cards that come before it, two cards following. Okay, well, the cards are the fish, the rider, the garden, the heart, and the whip. I mean, it will happen. I think it's more, well, obviously, it's meant to communicate sentiment. The sentiment being, ERA, abortion rights, etc., Roe, all that. Um, that's what it's meant to do, convey sentiment, send the message. Um, Garden is in the center, and then we have this heart and this whip. So I'm going to pull clarifiers on the heart, and I'm pulling clarifiers on the whip. So for the heart, the clarifiers are clover, anchor, and then this young man. So, people who are into it will be really into it. I think it'll be a very fun, upbeat kind of event because that's clover. I think it will make people who attend anyway feel solidarity with each other and feel as though they have exercised their power in a yang way. I'm not saying that they have or that they will have, but they will feel that they have. And then we have this whip. Clarifies for that are the book, the lily, and the young woman. So, obviously, whenever you have an event like that, it takes organization, it takes discipline. Everybody, needs to be, in the right place at the right time, given their marching orders, so to speak. So that's that. Um, but we have the book, and that's interesting because I think that some people, both in the march and some people who are observing the march, are like, "Wait, why you're there? Why again? Like, what's this supposed to do? Like, whom do you think is listening to you?" Um, and I think it'll be peaceful, quiet. I don't think it's going to change anything. But they will feel as though they did something. They registered their sentiments. Again, where do you best register your sentiments? The ballot box, just say. Okay, the next thing I'd like to look at is this rally that 45 is holding on the 19th. Now, how weird is that? Like, you're already going to get inaugurated supposedly on the 20th. So what is your point? Like, what is the point of the rally? I think that's my question, is what is the point of that rally? What is his intention? So I'm really going to do a serious shuffle of these cards. And you notice when I say shuffle, I don't go like that because I just feel like the work that I do is sacred. I'm not playing bridge. I'm doing divination work. So this is how I shuffle. Um, and I want to know first, what is, why did he call this rally? Like, what's the point of it? This is the rally on the 19th, called by 45. So what's the point of this rally? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for him. And I'm asking what was his intention in calling the rally? So we're going to look for the older man, and that will be 45. Okay, so here he is, clearly sending a message to the public. And I think that the message is, so here's the public to whom he's sending a message with this rally, him being 45, that the balance of power has shifted and we're in charge now. Now, who's we? Oh, I don't know, 45, Musk, the Proud Boys, you know, those people who would come out and march. Uh, I think it's a show of strength. And I think it's meant to intimidate. But I'm going to draw clarifiers for him, the scales, and the anchor. I'll let you watch that. So this is 45. I mean, the message is a little creepy in my opinion. Um, So here's 45. This is the narcissist card. So it's like 45 on steroids. These are both him. And he's essentially saying, I demand a peaceful acquiescence to me and my agenda, because here I am again, like a bad penny. Uh, Now, I also drew clarifiers for the scales. And remember, I said that this is him saying the scale has now tipped in my favor. And this rally is meant to demonstrate that. And the cards are the stork, the heart. So it will be sort of um, him saying, I love you, you are my people, things are going to get better for you than they were under Biden, etc. But look what the final clarifier is. You know how he always tells that story about the snake? He is the snake. So it's meant to intimidate and to pacify, to keep people um, quiet. You don't want the Proud Boys banging down your door, right? And here they are in formation. They could be coming to a town near you soon, so be careful. But I love you, and things are going to be better. I'm going to stop wars. I'm going to lower food prices. But am I? Can't trust a snake. And then we have this anchor, which was our final card in the original line of five. And we have the dog, the fox, and the clover. Look, again, this is about cementing power. It's the optics, right? Um, because it's a rally. It's the optics of him cementing power. Um, it's a good idea for you to be my friend. And of course, for him, friendship mean it's a one-way street. It's important for you to be my friend because if you don't, I'll turn on you in an instant. So, again, it is an event meant to intimidate and to encourage his followers that he's back, just like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. That's what that's about. So, don't watch it on TV. If you want to watch TV, watch something else. Have the TV on, but not tuned to anything related to the rally, because that'll really upset him if you do that. Okay, now the question of the hour. Um, so listen, I am part of a larger community of diviners, card readers, tarotists, seers, etc. And there is a school of thought among many of them. First, it was that the election would not be certified. It was certified, and I indicated that I saw that it would be certified. So now we are moving the goalposts down the road a little bit, and we're looking at January 20th. And so that common wisdom has it, and we discussed this the last time I was here, but common wisdom has it that the inauguration will be some kind of way postponed. I did a Substack article today, so you might want to refer to that. If you go to the more button, which will be right underneath this video and all my videos, you can find my latest Substack post there. Uh, and I know that when I looked at this last time, you all commented on how surprised I seemed because look, as I've said many, many times, energy is fluid, energy is mutable, things can change on a dime, people have free will, etc. So there is, which is to say, essentially, that there is the potential for anything to happen at any moment to all of us every day. Um, and I did see that there was potential for something to jump off that would delay the inauguration. I will tell you that, um, you know, I don't really refer to things like my guides, but I will say spirit. Spirit has not given me any indication that that if something were, and it may or may not jump off, it would not be the following. It would not be Mark Rutte coming in and saying, "Hold the presses." Article 5. It will not be Mark Rutte or the UN or anybody, any of our allies. That's not going to save the day. Nor will it be Dark Brandon, which is to say, Biden at his best in dark glasses and Scorpio, he's a Scorpio, so secretive, coming in with like a last minute arrest of 45. That's not going to happen. Nor will it be Prosecutor Harris coming in to save the day. Now, none of that is going to happen. So, I mean, could 45 get sick? Could somebody help him get sick? Entertainment purposes only, if you know what I mean. I mean, I don't know, maybe. But what I'm going to look at is the inauguration itself. And I think this will be, I may look at it one more time right before, but I am asking Spirit to please, 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 as a special favor to me, give me the definitive answer as to what will happen on January 20th. Now, I'm going to use the garden again as my significator. And the significator means my focus card, my subject. And the garden will stand for this event, this public event, which is the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States. And let's see what's around. Maybe I will see something other than what my mind's eye is telling me, which is that, and I've said this to you before, and I don't feel I need to pull cards on what I'm about to say, but I think, and I read an article, a recent article that was an interview done, I forget who did it, but with Biden. And one of the things that Biden said, this was a very recent interview, could have been as recently as yesterday, maybe. But what Biden said is he still believes that had he stayed in, he could have won. He does say also, listen, I don't know if I could have lasted 4 years because I don't know how I'm going to be at 84, but I think I could have won. This confirms a reading that I did earlier about Biden. Biden is not interested in being your Dark Brandon. To whatever extent his Scorpio is active, I think the form that it takes, and I've seen this, you can go back and look at my other readings. I've said this before. The form that his scorpionic personality is taking is to say, you know what? You broke it, you buy it. You all didn't want me. I was pushed out of the race. And so you get what you got. And see ya. I'm out. I believe that that is his attitude. He is not going to save us, nor are we, I'm going to say, as a country, not individually, but as a country, nor are we, nor have we proven ourselves to be worthy of saving right now because we didn't learn the lesson. So nobody's going to come in on a white horse and save us, especially Biden. It's not going to happen. So what I'm going to look at, though, is this inauguration, and I just want to see if there's anything around it that would indicate, a delay, a postponement, something. So we're going to look for the garden, and that will stand for the inauguration. And, it may very well be that what I'm saying is not popular, but probably by now, popularity is not my driver. My driver is that I come here and I use my cards to tell you what spirit tells me and to help us through this in as compassionate and honest a way as possible. And you may think that compassion means that a reader tells you what you want to hear. And if in the last moment that doesn't happen, well, up until the last moment, you lived in hope. Okay, that's some people's philosophy. It is not mine. I tell you what I see, and if I have a different opinion, I will communicate that opinion. But when I'm reading the cards, I'm telling you the information that I get from spirit. And it may not be what you want to hear, it may not be what I want to hear, but it's what spirit gives me. So let's see what we see about this inauguration. Remember that we're looking for the garden. Okay, that stands for the inauguration. And I'll pull some clarifiers, but we have the book, we have the key, we have the garden, we have the fish, and we have the house. Now, let me pull some clarifiers first, and then I'll talk about all of the cards. Okay, I'll let you watch. It's kind of interesting, I gotta say, because again, just so you see the original line, book, key, garden, fish, house. Now, I want to keep the right order. This is interesting. The reading starts off with the book. The book is about things we don't know. And this just again speaks to the fact that energy is mutable, anything can happen. I don't know that this inauguration is necessarily written in stone, but it is not because Biden pulls a fast one at the last minute, or Harris does, or Ruta from NATO pulls a fast one. No. But I don't know, you know, it's very interesting that this card is the first card. The key is sort of the answer to things. Uh, this is the inauguration itself. And then we have the fish and we have the house. Fish, remember, is the card for money, but it's also the card for emotion. This stands for the White House. So I can mirror the book with the house. The energy is still kind of nebulous, which is why I'll probably end up having to look at this one more time. It's a little bit nebulous, and that's the White House. All right, so now let's look at clarifiers. So here's our original card, first card, the book. Clarifiers are the mice, the anchor, and the star. I think that here's what I think. To whatever degree there is kind of worry or lack of uh, there's a lot of people who think this inauguration won't happen. Let's just put it that way. So this is about things we don't know. Will Dark Brandon come in? Will Ruta come in? That's this card. But that gets nibbled away at. So the indecision, the closer we get, every day we get closer to the 20th, the odds of anything undermining this inauguration become less and less and less. Um, to the point where, yeah, there's an inauguration and we move then forward into the future. All right, now we have the key. I love the key. It's the fraternal twin of the sun. It's that good of a card. It answers questions, opens doors. The clarifiers are the tree, the whip, and the scythe. Um, the tree, I think it speaks to the health of the nation. And we are, of course, a nation divided. Uh, this is the card for that kind of division and dissension and, arguments back and forth. Um, but as the French say, les jeux sont faits, meaning the dice have been thrown, the die is cast, the decision has been made. He's the guy. 45. Now, this is the inauguration. Other people may choose to read what I'm about to say with these clarifiers differently from me, but these are my cards. If they pull cards and they get what they get, then they can read their cards. And this goes for you all as well. So please don't even bother saying, well, couldn't this be that and that be the other? It is what I'm telling you that it is, because that's how I read it. So this is the inauguration. We have the coffin, we have the older woman, we have the snake. Here's the inauguration, happening. Sometimes a coffin is a coffin. It's an ending to all of this speculation about how some number of people are going to save the day and Harris will be our president. That's not going to happen. But the fact that it doesn't happen will leave a lot of people really upset, because a lot of people still feel that the certification wasn't legal. They feel that the vote wasn't legal. They feel that, a lot of things. So it ends her chances this time around. It does. Coffin is a coffin, but it leaves a taste in people's mouths that is not good. Now, the next card was the fish. And the clarifiers for that are lily, stork, and child. The temptation is to say, okay, so this is, emotion and everything's going to be okay. Things are going to get better because something new is going to happen and she'll be the president. No, that's not it. Um, Sometimes we have to make peace with what is. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, you know what? Let's look to 2026. Let's look to 2028. But we have to make peace. Because that's the only way we're going to get through this in one piece. Uh, is to sort of process our feelings a new way, to go from saying, well, maybe this will happen and maybe that will happen and get God out of a machine, Deus ex machina, something's going to happen and save the day. No, we have to think in a new way. We have to arrive at a place of peace. And I'm not saying roll over and wag your tail because we love Trump. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, and I wrote about this in my Substack today. Um, find your peace in the midst of this turmoil, because you need to be at your emotionally most healthy if we're going to get through this next little bit of time. And magical thinking is not healthy in this situation. So make peace with what will be on the 20th, which is that 45 will be inaugurated. Because then you can move forward and say, well, okay, what are our next things? What is next? Right? Because you can put away the old things, put away the hope that was dashed on November 5th, and move forward into a newer future, a better future. If you always are looking behind you while you're walking this way, you're going to find yourself smacked in the face. So be clear-eyed. I think we're being asked to be clear-eyed and find some sort of peace. That's that whole Black women thing about that we're just minding our business and drinking our water for now because we tried to tell people that this is what was going to happen. Nobody wanted to hear it. So we are just, you know, taking care of ourselves, living our best lives. We are finding our peace and our rest. I mean, why? Well, ultimately, so that we can feel better after all of this and live to fight another day. There's always a new battle ahead. We're busy looking at the ones behind us. Y'all need to put that to the side because, okay. And then we have the House and we have 45 and he will be inaugurated. This will be painful because there will be no denying it, right? This is the light of day. There will be no denying it. It will be painful. And for people who have lived in hope that it was going to end up a different way, it's going to be even more painful. And I will tell you that I can mirror this card with the very first card in our original line. Things that we didn't know, like, I don't know, is dark branding going to save us? Is Kamala Mamala? All these things, all these questions, and all this speculation. No, the light will shine on the painful fact that somebody elected this man as the next president of the United States. So, fling stuff at your screen if you want. Um, I would advise you to be polite in the comments because you know, I I don't invite discourtesy at my table. So you're entitled to your feelings, and I get it. Um, but you know, for all of these who are telling you something's going to happen before the 20th and this cup will pass from our lips. I mean, look, in a few days, we'll know, right? Either I'm telling you what's right or they are. I would love to be wrong. Love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. So, there are plenty of readers out there who will tell you something different. Um, I think that the energy has settled to this point, at this point from when I last read. Again, all possibilities exist. But that as the time gets shorter and shorter and shorter, the choices get narrower and narrower and narrower. And we are now so narrow that it is just one chute. And that chute that we must walk down through into that, you know, arena of fire is the fact that 45 will be the 47th president. How he got there, we all know that it was not a clean, smooth road that took him there. Nobody's arguing that. Well, I'm not arguing that. But what I am arguing is he will be inaugurated. Uh, I think I'll leave it there. That's enough for you to digest and chew on. And, I'm really sorry if it's not what you wanted to hear. God knows it's not what I want to hear. But I think that we have not metabolized this lesson that the universe gave us. We've not metabolized it. And we want to take the easy route. We don't want the surgery. Can't we just take a pill, and then have it be over? No. Apparently, surgery is called for without an anesthetic. And sadly, all of us are undergoing this surgery, even those of us who really didn't need it. But yeah, that's what I see. And I'll be back next time to look at some more things. I think I'll probably cast a wider net and look at Musk, look at Europe and Musk. But that'll be for another time. Okay, take care, you all.